Hi, my name is Jen and I'm with the Volusia County Public Library Hope Place branch. And today's craft will be these wooden block succulent holders. It's just going to be a couple items, show you how to make them. And let me get those items together for you. So for our succulent holders, we're going to need a couple of items, and you can pick these up at the Dollar Tree. You'll need at least 2 of these orb bowls, and I'm gonna go with a fake succulent. You can get these anywhere, or you can plant your own, a real one. For this craft, we're gonna use fake. You're going to need to get 4 boxes of these small Jenga blocks. These are in the toy aisle. They don't always come with 2 sets of colors, so the second one, the one that we make today, I'm gonna do in the dark brown. The other one, you could paint, stain, whatever you wanted to do. Decorative stones, you can use sand, anything you want for the inside to hide the bottom of the succulent, and then also wood glue. I found that while hot glue did work, it fell apart very easily. So let's get started. So I have our blocks all set out for both projects. You're going to need 21 for the smaller planter holder, and then you'll need 38 for the larger planter holder. So we're going to do all of our gluing first, and then we'll start assembling. I'll start with the small side. So first, what we're going to do is we have a row of 9 blocks, and we're going to take our wood glue, and wood glue very sparingly. So all we're going to do, make sure it's coming out. So for this first one, we're going to go ahead and assemble 9 blocks in a row. And just make sure that's straight, and you can just wipe this glue right off, and that's why I have this paper here, because your hands are going to get a little sticky. You can also get glue at the Dollar Tree now. Just very sparingly. Attach tight. I'm going to wipe it off. So as you can see, I have glued our first 9 all in a row. I just stood it up. I just wanted to make sure that it's standing well and that everything's nice and straight. So I'm just going to gently, because it's just tacking now, that's why we're gluing first, gently set it down, give it another little push together, and I'm going to just step away for a little bit. And I'm going to work on the next piece. We want to work on the sides now. So what that's going to be is it's going to be 3 blocks and then another block like that, okay? So we're going to glue our 3 together. And wood glue can be very messy. I'm finding that out. So just be patient. So I've got 2. Dab a little off. Okay. So we've got our 3 together. And again, this will dry clear, so you will be fine. At least this brand will dry clear. Just make sure that your brand that you're using dries clear. And then I'm going to glue one here on the edge. Smear dab. Make sure that this one lines up with the others. Then I'll worry about wiping off the glue. There we go. That's what we're looking for. We're gonna make 2 of these. Okay. So while our smaller planter pieces are drying and tacking, we're gonna go ahead and move on to starting to glue up our larger pieces. The first set is going to be 3 rows of 6, just like that. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. I turn it more towards me, but making sure to keep it straight. Just keep an eye on that straight. Just gonna wipe off a little glue on the back. And actually I have some here. Perfect. Okay, so now that I have 6 in my line, okay, I'm just going to give it a little compress, get that glue to really tack well, kind of wipe away a little bit of the glue that's showing, stand it up, make sure that it stands up good. So this is what we're looking for, row of 6. I'm going to make 2 more and then I will show you how to do the next step. So I have finished the 3 planks of 6. That will be for our larger planter holder. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our sides while we give these time to dry and tack. I've made sure that they can stand. Once they were tacky enough to move, you just want to keep them straight. If you have a ruler, you can go ahead and put them against a ruler. It's whatever you prefer. But we're just going to set these down and let the glue really just give it a minute. Okay, so our next step is to make the sides of the large planter. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another 6, okay? And then we're going to take 2 long ways, just like we did on the little ones, and do it just like that, okay? So I'm going to assemble the first 6, and then I'll be back with you to show you the top, okay? So our next step is, now that we have our 6 planks, we are going to take 2 of the blocks and glue them to the top long ways, just like that, okay? A little dab, dab, dab. Make sure that it's lined up with your end. And put a little glue in that little corner too. This is going to be one of your sides on your large planter. Set this down. Some of the extra glue off. With the gluing, we have our, I took the liberty of making the last 6 plank, and I'm going to glue the top to these real quick, and then we'll start assembling. So our last major glue that we really want to bond before we start putting more weight of the planter, the glass and the succulent on top, is what we're going to do, not the ones with the blocks on them, okay, but the 3, we're going to be gluing them together to give them height. And then while those are tacking and drying well, then we'll move on and we'll put our smaller planter together. So all we're gonna do, these are actually very solid, by no means completely dry. You should definitely give this at least 24 hours to completely dry. But we wanna put a nice bead of glue in here, going long ways, and attach the 6 together. Make sure they're straight. And we're just going to do this last end here. Okay. So we're really pushing together. Wiping off some extra glue. It's going to be like that. I'm going to wipe off that extra glue here in a second. Make sure it stands up straight. If the top is a little off, because not every block is perfect, so if the top is a little bit off, it's okay. We're more worried about your bottom because we don't want it to really shuffle around. Okay, so this is what we're going for. I know it hasn't tacked up yet, so we still see some of the white glue, but we need these blocks together, okay? So we're gonna set this down. I'm gonna compress it again, and we're gonna start assembling our small one. Is what we're looking for, our nice brick of 18. I'm gonna set this down. I'm gonna let this really tack. This is our last real big glue. We'll still have to glue a couple of pieces, but this is the last part of our big gluing part of this project. So when you set it down, give it a nice compress, move it around a little bit on the surface, make sure it doesn't tack down. The other ones are gluing. So now we are going to move on and we are going to start to put together our small planter. So here comes the easy parts. So our small planter, the pieces are all glued together. We have our section of 9, then we have our 2 with the 3 and then the cube at the end. So what we're going to do is on that middle plank, we are going to glue just like that. Okay? With the little board against it, again, so that it makes a beautiful X, okay? So I'm gonna start with this. Help hold it up. And again, smear that one around a little bit. Perfect coverage. And right there in the middle. And I'm gonna hold that for a minute. You're gonna see a little bit of glue seep out. You're welcome to brush it away if you'd like. I just wanna give it a second to tack. And this is what we're looking for. Okay, so our last gluing step to the planter is we're going to take these single pieces that we have, we're going to turn them sideways as opposed to this right here. I want to be gentle. We're going to glue it just like that. Okay? And have it line up right up with the edge. So let me go ahead and glue one down and I will show you. And this may take a little more than a dollop. Middle. We're going to glue it right on the end. Make sure it's lined up, make sure it's center. I'm not going to even touch that glue. I'm going to let it set. But that's what we want it to look like. So we're going to do our 4 sides with a little dollop of glue on the end here. And with it straight, opposite, just put it right on, right in the center. And make sure it's level with the end. There you go. And we're just going to glue the other 2 on. So while our small planter's drying and tacking, we are going to go ahead and assemble our larger planter. We're going to take our largest block and we're going to do exactly the same thing we did before. We're going to take our 2 sides, the ones with the bricks vertical. It's going to be against the insides and we're going to make a nice X. Okay? That wasn't a nice X, but it's not glued. So that's what we're going to be doing. Good coverage. And what you're going to have to do is eyeball the center because we don't have the luxury of having that 1 block. So we're going to go just for the center. Hold it on for a moment. Gently step away along this edge here. Just going to blot it. I just want to hold it for a minute. So now that we have our X, now we're just going to do the exact same thing with the 4 extra pieces, single pieces that we have. Just going to put a little dot on the end. Make sure that they run opposite to the other pieces. So this one's going to be that. So while these are tacking and drying, let's go ahead and set up our little planter areas. And again, you can use real succulents if you want. I chose to go with the fake kind. They are just as adorable. I'm gonna go for a little bit something different. So for the lighter wood, I chose you can buy these at the dollar store as well. Some pebbles. They also sell this white sand, little sand pebbles, or they have different colors. So I think that might be a nice contrast. So I'm gonna go half here and half in here. Okay. And then I'm just going to give it a little push. Yeah, I like that. I know there's a glare, but that looks really nice. If you have, you can use stones, you can use these little pebbles that come in all different colors. If you have these little beads, little glass beads, I don't know if you see them in the bag. I'm sure you know what they are. We've all seen them. Little glass beads, you can use those. So those are ready to go. Beautiful. I like the contrast. I hope it's gonna pop. It's gonna look good. So these are our finished wooden block planters. They are beautiful. I would definitely give these 24 hours to dry before you added any more weight. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off before I leave. If you're lucky enough to get the double set of blocks, then you could obviously use the brown. The ones here, you could stain these, you could paint them, you can do whatever you want, whatever fits your home better. And then the decorations are endless on the inside with the real succulents, with the colors, with the stones. It's whatever fits your decor. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and don't forget to check us out at volusialibrary.org. Also on our Facebook page for Volusia County Library, and our YouTube channel where Volusia is getting crafty. And I will see you on my next video. Bye-bye.